女性は日本で食べた食べ物が忘れられず、自国でも夫ために再現するのだ。
This is everything I made for Valentine's Day, including the story of how I almost burnt my house down. After spending 3 weeks traveling Japan, I wanted to recreate some of our favorite dishes. Starting with one of my personal favorites, I fell in love with this matcha French toast in Kyoto. The French toast itself is quite simple, but what makes it is the matcha syrup, which was so easy to make. All it is sugar, water, and matcha simmered on the stove. And then I wanted to make gyoza, but instead of regular gyoza, I wanted to make pink Valentine's Day gyoza. I prepped about half of them ahead of time, and then I saved the rest for us to do together. And it was actually quite a fun activity, even for a control freak like myself. We also both agreed that this was by far our favorite bite of the day, so we'll definitely be making these again sometime soon. I also wanted to do homemade sushi, so I ordered this sushi bridge on Amazon. And for the nigiri, we did lean tuna, fatty tuna, yellowtail, and salmon. And we dressed them up with some serrano peppers, yuzu kosho, some with soy, some with ponzu, and spicy tuna, of course. Now, before we went to Japan, I just assumed that we would be eating sushi all the time. But the one dish that we ate the most was by far noodle soups. If you had asked me before the trip, I would have said my favorite was ramen, specifically Tokyo-style shoyu ramen. But by the time we left, I was obsessed with udon. So after a few YouTube tutorials, I taught myself how to make homemade udon noodles. And the broth is super simple. I made a dashi using one of these instant dashi packs, and I seasoned it with this soup base. Tempura is typically served with udon, so I made shrimp tempura, sweet potato tempura, and shiso leaf tempura. For the tempura batter, I actually used a recipe from my cookbook for fried fish tacos, so while not traditional, definitely close enough. And while my noodles weren't perfect, I'm extremely proud of myself for this being my first try. My favorite cocktail of the trip was called a matcha matcha, and it was simply matcha liqueur with brewed matcha. I knew right away I was going to want to recreate this at home, so I bought a bottle of matcha liqueur and brought it home in my suitcase. For my version, I added some gin, which sort of resembled like a matcha martini, and the floral notes of the gin worked perfectly with the matcha. Now, while this entire menu was a surprise for my boyfriend, he had no idea what I was making. But the biggest surprise of all was that I was recreating his favorite meal, yakiniku, which is Japanese-style barbecue. I wanted it to be as close to the original version that we had as possible, so I ordered A5 Wagyu from Japan. I even got the exact same cuts of beef that we had had, and naturally I had to order a yakitori grill and Japanese charcoal as well, which both were labeled suitable for indoor use. However, the exhaust fan over my stove was no match for this grill. Things definitely got a little tense, and we almost had the fire department join us for dinner, but overall this was so fun and literally so delicious. I can't wait to do this in the summertime. And last but not least, we had my matcha ice cream, which I had made using the snow as my ice cream machine. I topped it with some of that matcha syrup that we had at breakfast, and it was amazing. I'll be posting a full Japan vlog and itinerary soon, but in the meantime, what other recipes do you think I should recreate?
夫が羨ましいですね。